Hi, my name is Aya. You're watching Aya Reads, and I'm here to do my February TBR. So I'm going to talk about all the books I'm planning on reading in February and having my TBR jar helping me with that basically. So in here are a lot of challenges. I'm going to pick 5 or 6 depending on my mood, and I have to pick books based on those challenges. I still have not put new challenges in. So what I'm saying it here now, I'm not allowed to do my March TBR unless the new challenges are here. So that is how I'm gonna keep myself accountable. There are a couple books that I'm very much excited about that are coming out in February. And there are 2 big vlogs I'm gonna be doing in February as well. One of which is finishing series. So I hope I can pick some of those new releases, plus I hope this TBR jar will help me finish off some series. So let's get started. Any new releases that are not on my regular TBR, I will talk about in the end. This is the first challenge. Can you even see that? Scroll Goodreads, first book I own. Ooh, this is dangerous. Let me do that on my phone. I think that's easier. So let's do a screen recording and let's go to Goodreads. So basically I have to scroll until I find a book that I own. Iron Flame I read. More Than Words I don't own. This one I don't own. Odyssey, no. Iron Flame I already read. Butcher of the Forest I don't own. I don't own this. I'm not gonna read Emma. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do a classic. Outsider I don't own. Oh, that's not even. Wait. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Do I own this book? Let me see. I don't think so. This would be a hilarious book to read. No, I don't. Okay. No. Wild Robot, no. Hidden Life of Cecily Larson, no. Witch Please. Maybe I own that one. Let me see. No, I do not in fact own it. Oh, Quicksilver. Okay, so a part of me did want to read this. I almost read this for my BookTube's Favorite Romances vlog. That was the video that came out before this one, so let me grab it. So here it is. I bought it thinking or being convinced that it would 100% be in the top 15 of Goodreads, and it barely made it. Like maybe if I had watched like one other video and this one had been on it, it would have made it into the top 15, but it didn't. But I did want to read it this year, so I'm excited about it, even though it's very long. So this is a fantasy romance, and which I've heard so many good things about. Like a lot of people that I trust really love this book. And especially apparently the last 100 pages are so very action-packed. This is about a girl who... I don't really know what this book is about. Let me actually check Goodreads. So you follow Sayrus, who has strange powers, and she's also been stealing from the Undying Queen's reservoirs for as long as she can remember. And when Sayrus comes face to face with Death himself, she inadvertently reopens a gateway between realms and is transported to a land of ice and snow. The Fae have always been a stuff of myth, of legend, of nightmares, but it turns out they're real. Apparently Death has a name, and his name is Kingfisher, and this is Kingfisher, and I've heard amazing things about Kingfisher. So this book kind of exploded on BookTube last year, and like I said, I really thought that I was gonna have to read it for my favorite videos of BookTube of 2024, but it didn't make it. I don't know when book 2 comes out, so actually my plan was to read this right before book 2. So now I have to read it in February, which, like I said, not a hardship at all. Challenge number 2. This one. Random number generator physical books. Ouch. I don't know how I'm gonna do this because my physical books are not up to date anymore. I haven't been updating it. So how can I do this? Let me actually use, because it's still somewhat up to date. It's just like the newest books will not be included, but I mean, I don't really know how else I can do it. So I do have a spreadsheet. Let me show it to you. So this one already has like 740 books. Okay, so let's have Siri pick a random. So let's have Siri pick a random number between 2 and 741, I guess. Hey Siri, pick a random number between 2 and 741.
A random number between 2 and 741 is 28.
28. So let's look up 28. So this is based on author title. Although that's not entirely true. No, let me do sorted by author again, and let's do 28. 28. Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I already read that one. So let's do another random number generator. Stop.
A random number between 0 and 100 is 42.
I did not ask that. Siri, stop. Hey Siri, pick a random number between 2 and 740. 362. 362. Okay. Dreamless by Josephine Angelini, which is the second book. The first book is Star-Crossed, so let me grab that. That is a blast from the past. So 1 second, please. Okay, so the book that got chosen was the second book in a series, so I'm gonna read the first one, Star-Crossed by Josephine Angelini. Once again, a blast from the past. This one came out in 2011. So this screams early 2010s, young adult, fantasy romance, I guess. So I don't know what this book is about. It doesn't say a whole lot, but apparently... Okay, so I'm just gonna read you the back. When shy, awkward Helen Hamilton meets Lucas Delos for the first time, she thinks 2 things. The first, that he is the most ridiculously beautiful boy she has seen in her life. The second, that she wants to kill him with her bare hands. An ancient curse means Lucas and Helen are destined to loathe one another. But sometimes love is stronger than hate, and not even the gods themselves can prevent what will happen next. So this apparently is inspired by Greek mythology, and there's paranormal things in there. I don't know. This has been on my shelves for years and years and years, and I was never inclined to pick it up. So this TBR is forcing me to pick it up. So I am interested. Let me know if you've read it, and if you want me to do a vlog, maybe reading the entire trilogy, let me know. The next challenge, so far this is not helping me at all with my 2 goals I set for myself beginning of this video. Random book from Goodreads romance TBR. What is going on with these random things? Like normally I don't get this many random challenges. Okay, so basically I have my Goodreads, obviously. I have like different types of TBRs. One of them, if Goodreads is so slow. Like when are they gonna update it? So I have a lot of different shelves, one of which is my romance TBR, which as of right now has 5,388 different books on there. So to make it a little bit easier on myself, that is 180 pages. So let's have Siri pick a random number between 1 and 180. Hey Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 180. Okay, 173. I am such a professional. Okay, so let's go to 173. So each page has 30 different books. So these are the books on... Oh, Quicksilver is also here. That's funny. What if Quicksilver gets picked? Let's have Siri pick a random number between 1 and 30. Hey Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 30. 11. So let's count together. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Bull Moon Rising. Funnily enough, it's a book I already own. So that is good for my TBR. So let me grab that one. So what are the odds? Because I'm pretty sure most of the books on my romance TBR are books I don't own, but this one I do, Bull Moon Rising. I got this one because I really like this edition, although it came damaged and I never returned it. So anyway, hey ho. This is a new series by Ruby Dixon, and this is about a woman and a bull. So there's that. I haven't read a book like that before, so we'll see. I have read monster romances, but not a monster that is so similar to like an actual animal. This is about a woman who wants to join the Royal Artificial Guild, but they won't let her join because she's a woman. So she needs a chaperone. So she decides to marry a minotaur who's her teacher, and he's also in Rut. So to join this guild, and it's gonna be their romance. I haven't heard the best things about it, but I have been meaning to read more Ruby Dixon's, so this is a good one, and I am glad this one got chosen since it's a book I already own. So far, very eclectic TBR, but once again, still not a last book in a series or a book that I was planning to read for like one of my vlogs, and also not a new release. So read a mystery. Once again, okay, I need to stop. Okay, read a mystery. Yeah, I have one I have been meaning to read for a while, so let me grab that one. The Alperton Angels by Janice Hallett. So I know Meg really loves this book. I got it since it was a Waterstones exclusive edition. I got it when it came out in 2023, and I have not read it yet. So this is a mystery book with mixed media, which is, I love that. If I'm gonna read a mystery, so since I don't read a lot of them, I tend to prefer the ones with mixed media aspects since it's really immersive. So there's interviews, emails, stuff like that. And this is about a cult who brainwashed a teenage girl and convinced her that her newborn baby was the Antichrist. Believing they had a divine mission to kill the infant, they were only stopped when the girl came to her senses and called the police. The angels committed suicide rather than stand trial, while mother and baby disappeared into the care system. And nearly 2 decades later, true crime author Amanda Bailey is writing a book on the angels. The Alperton baby has turned 18 and can finally be interviewed. So the author and another author want to find this like baby who's now 18. And while they are hunting for this baby, they realize that what everybody thinks they know about the angels is wrong. The truth is something much darker and stranger than they'd ever imagined. So this sounds like a fun palate cleanser between all the romances I read. And I have had this on my shelf for a while, and I think I want to read this while listening to the audiobook. I think that's a great way to read this one, so very excited. I'm just gonna do the last one because so far, as much as fun as these books are and fun TBR, it's not helping me with my reading goals this month, so... Okay, owned TBR published before 2024. Okay, so this one I can do a series I want to finish. I chose Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. So this one came out in 2022, and this will get me caught up on the Skyland series. So I read the second book, This Could Be Us, last year, and the third book comes out in May. And while they are interconnected standalones, I do want to finish off the series. And this one I heard great things about. So you follow Yasmin and Josiah, and they have been divorced for like the last couple of years. Now they're co-parenting their kids. They also have a business together, a restaurant. And I believe once he starts thinking about dating other people, she realizes that she still has feelings for him. So it's like a second chance romance. I tend to love a second chance romance. And this is a second chance romance that I've not read before, where they actually have older kids and they have been married for years and years, and it's like a second chance romance like that. I do feel like that is a second chance romance that happens a lot in the real world. Like sometimes these romances, you're like, okay, when does that ever happen? Whereas in this one, yes, it makes sense that, like I've heard of that before, where a married couple that has been together for years, something is not working, so they divorce. But since they are tied together because they share kids, in this case, they share a business, they're constantly in each other's lives. And when they work on each other, they realize, okay, so maybe we can give it a second chance. So I think that's very interesting. And even though I enjoyed This Could Be Us, I felt like that was more a women's fiction than a romance. I do feel like this could be definitely more leaning towards romance. So very excited about that. My goal this year, loose goal, since I'm not setting actual goals, is to read more Kennedy Ryan. So this will help me on that. And this will, like I said, get me caught up on a series. So like I said, very eclectic. Like this is a very strange mix. Like I don't think I've had this many genres and subgenres in a while. So I have a fantasy romance, a like alien/monster romance, a mystery, old school young adult like fantasy paranormal romance, and a contemporary romance. So now for the new releases I really want to read. The first one is The Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. So this is the sequel to The Crimson Moth or Heartless Hunter, and I read that book in January and the sequel comes out in February. I will be reading it as soon as it's in my hands. So The Crimson Moth or The Heartless Hunter, you follow a witch and a witch hunter. Rune is a witch. She lives in a world in a land where witches used to rule until a revolution 2 years ago killed the witch queens and took over, and now witches are being hunted. Rune is a secret witch and she's also the Crimson Moth. And the Crimson Moth has been saving witches for the last 2 years. And basically how you can tell somebody's a witch is you have to use blood, preferably fresh blood, in your spells. But once you use your blood in a spell, it will leave a scar, and that scar will be silver. She has been finding ways to cast spells without leaving these witch marks. And you follow Gideon, who's a witch hunter, and they are connected because his brother is her best friend, and he has a suspicion that she's the Crimson Moth, and she wants to use him since he's one of the highest generals in this new regime. And he's also a witch hunter, and she thinks that by courting him, she will get secrets. So they are courting, and they're playing this dangerous game of getting secrets from each other. And like I said, I really, really love The Crimson Moth or Heartless Hunter. So it's called Heartless Hunter in the US, I believe, and Crimson Moth in the UK. Since I live in the Netherlands, I get the UK book, I guess. And I'm very much looking forward to the sequel. Thankfully, that book has the same title, Rebel Witch. Scythe and Sparrow, I'm really excited about. This is the third and final book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. The first book being Butcher and Blackbird, and this is Fionn and Rose's anticipated book, so I cannot wait to read that one. Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Of course, I have read almost every single Ali Hazelwood book. The plan is to read all her books before Deep End comes out. This is a sports romance. I believe it's her first sports romance, if you don't count her chess young adult romance. I'm not having the highest expectations for this one because it seems like this is going to be another more erotic leaning romance, which last book she did that was like that I didn't love. I believe this is also leaning more towards the physical, which I was excited about the last book. I think she can do it well. I just didn't think it was very well executed in her last book. So hopefully this book will be different and I'm going to love it more. And I tend to love a good sports romance. And the last one I'm really excited about is A Rebel Without Claws by Juliette Cross. So this is the Next Generation series for her Stay Spell series, which is one of my favorite series of all time. So this, you follow, I believe, Evie and Mateo's daughter. And it's her romance with a werewolf, which I love werewolf romances. And my favorites in the last series were definitely the werewolf romances. So very excited. So you follow Celine and Ronan. I'm sorry. Ronan thinks she's a good girl. Little does he know, all Celine wants is to do wicked things with the bad boy werewolf. And apparently there's this forbidden romance. I don't know. I just know that I love her writing style and I really loved their parents' story. So very excited to read the Next Gen series. Is that all? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so those are all the books that I'm planning on reading in February. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts were. Also, let me know what is one book you are very much looking forward to reading in February. Leave all your thoughts down below. If you're down there, leave me a wolf emoji for a rebel without claws, or I guess like a bull emoji for this one. Is there one? And I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know by leaving a like if you did, and thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.